driven, mechanized, mechanical monsters? Well, okay, maybe a bit over the top, but hey, you gotta get excited when the sprint cars are coming. And so they are. Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Mike Stanhope, and welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live. We're brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. Looking ahead on this edition of Laptime Live to the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprint Cars coming into Cocopah Speedway for 2 nights of action, less than a week away this coming Friday and Saturday night. Raw and Elemental, the non-wing 410 sprints, a rich racing history here in Yuma. Many memorable moments to look back on with the promise of many more to be made next Friday and Saturday night. And USAC CRA Series points leader Nick Faas, driver of the Scott Sales Company CSI Shocks Spike J&D number 4 sprint car, is going to be joining us to talk about it in just a few minutes. Our look ahead will also begin in just a moment, but first a final tip of the racing cap to the winners in last week's round number 6 of the Cocopah Speedway Racing Series. Some absolutely incredible action last Saturday night, topped off by Bobby Horton in the IMCA Modifieds, pulling off a last lap turn number 4 slide job to get by Imperial Steve McCullough to take the win. Horton in his number 3 was strong from the start, but had to race from the back after being collected up in a 3-car wreck several laps prior to the finish. In the Pro Stocks, Lakeside's Mike Lurwell rode the high line to his first feature win of the season, while in the other 3 divisions, some winning streaks continued. Ty Rogers in the 8T made it 6 for 6 in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, while in the Street Stocks, Brawley's Stephen Daffern took his second feature in a row, outracing San Diego's Mike Harlan to take the win. And in the Factory Stocks, Yuma's Jordan White in the number 86 also took his second win in a row, coming back from a dead battery that had knocked him out of his earlier heat and working the slow groove smoothly to take the win. Now, both the Napa Auto Parts Factory Stocks and the Fisher Automotive Street Stocks will be in action along with the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprint Cars this coming Friday and Saturday. The factories will be in for action on Friday night, and the streets will be in for action on Saturday. Well, as noted, Nick Faas, as well as teammate Damian Gardner, are going to lead the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprint Cars into Cocopah Speedway here in Yuma for back-to-back races. Again, this coming Friday and Saturday night. The 2 men team up on the Mark Alexander race team, and they completed a 1-2 sweep of the April 6th 30-lap feature over at Paris Auto Speedway. Faas emerging with a 4-point series lead over the 2005 champion. Faas had trailed in that race for the first 28 laps, running behind David Carty, but was able to take the lead exiting turn number 4 on the white flag lap and brought it on home for the win. Gardner was right behind for second, with Carty, who was nearly out of fuel late. In the number 3 finishing spot, Ryan Bernal and the Cadillac Cody Williams rounding out the top 5 in the last action, again that just 2 weeks ago at Paris Speedway for the USAC CRA Sprints. Now the Cocopah races will be the second for the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprints at the 3/8 mile Cocopah Speedway Oval. Brady Roa winning last year's single night debut. And a couple of other items of note as we look ahead. That April 6th Paris win was Faas' 7th in series competition. Now, Gardner will come into action at Cocopah Speedway with the all-time series lead at 41 wins. Corey Cruzman behind with 34 wins. And Mike Spencer of Temecula will be seeking his record 6th consecutive USAC CRA title this year. He comes in with 33 wins and was 6th in that Saturday Paris feature after posting the fastest qualifying time. Well, at just 23 years of age, Huntington Beach's Nick Faas has come a long, long way fast in the ranks of open wheel and sprint car racing. And just to touch on a couple of career highlights, your 2008 USAC Western Midget Series champion, the 2008 USAC CRA Sprint Car Series Rookie of the Year. He's finished second in the USAC CRA point standings the last couple of years. Oh, by the way, the winner of 4 quarter midget winter national championships, along with a midget national championship. And I could keep going, but we want to get to the talk here soon. And oh, by the way, Nick has also raced in BMX on top of that very impressive resume. Well, Faas on top of the points as the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprint Cars return to the Diamond in the Desert this coming Friday and Saturday, and he is set to join us next. So, as we continue here on Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, we're set for Nick Faas, and we'll be back with with more here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.
2013 Showcase event is here at Fisher Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Hi, I'm Victor Cerda, and I want to invite you to come on down and take advantage of our great specials. Take home the all-new 2013 Ram 1500 with a 4-door NV6 for only $26,991. Or what about a 2013 Dodge Journey AVP with 7-passenger seating for only $19,991. So call us at 344-2650 or visit us at itsafisher.com.
It's a Fisher Dodge Chrysler.
All prices plus tax, title, license, registration, and military discount.
Hey, man, what do you have there?
It's one of those new scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. Cash Bonanza.
Why are you saying it like that?
Like what? Cash Bonanza.
Yeah, where is that sound coming from? You are creeping me out right now.
That's just Cash Bonanza. It's the new $10 ticket that can win you up to $1 million instantly. So, Cash Bonanza.
Right, the new Cash Bonanza from the Arizona Lottery.
You can't win if you don't play.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Arizona. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Arizona Interscholastic Association and the Arizona Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Halftime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Stanhope. We're less than 1 week out now on the return of sprint car racing to the Diamond in the Desert, specifically the USAC CRA 410 non-wing sprint cars, in for 2 nights of action this coming Friday and Saturday. And joining us now, today's special guest, Nick Faas, driver of the Scott Sales Company CSI Shocks Spike J&D number 4 sprint car. And welcome to the show, Nick.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you're coming into the 2 nights of action at Cocopah Speedway on a bit of a roll with a very exciting win a couple of weeks back at Paris. Can you tell us about that race and particularly the last couple of laps?
Yeah, it was a good race. We qualified 3rd and started 5th in the feature and got up to David Carty probably about lap 10 and had some issues passing him, but I was right there the whole race and made up a little mistake coming to the white flag, and I got by him, and the next corner he started running out of fuel. But it was a really good, exciting race, and my teammate, Damien Garner, he came from the back to run 2nd, so it was a really good night for the Scott Sales team.
Is Paris a home track of sorts for you?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks. It's always exciting, and there's always multiple grooves to race on.
You made a big mark in the USAC CRA series the past couple of years, notably a 2nd-place finish in the 2011 season standings. And, of course, this year you're coming into Cocopah Speedway on top of the standings. What's making the difference? What's helping with your progression year over year?
I think it's just trying to get the same. The crew chief and Steve Alexander, we've been working really hard lately, and they've all been busting their butts in the off-season, getting the equipment ready for us, and we have great sponsors, and from Scott Sales Company, Lavia Catering, CSI, Butler Built. It's definitely been a team effort this year. I think we're just kind of finally clicking on all cylinders, so to speak, and I'm just having a blast, and we're having a lot of fun, and I think that's a lot of why we're doing so well right now.
Hey, the fun part of it is always a big takeaway. Talking more specifically about Cocopah Speedway itself, you were in here and ran last year for the first time. Takeaways from that experience that you'll be putting to use this time out?
Yeah, definitely. Last time we were quick time and got in a little accident. My heat race and slipped, and we had to pull out the backup car and start at the back. So hopefully I will learn my lesson, won't do that again this weekend.
You mentioned that quick time. That lap was, if memory serves me correctly, 16.734, a record for the USAC CRA Sprint Car Series at Cocopah Speedway. Notwithstanding the ever-changing nature of a clay racing surface, I'm sure that's a benchmark you'd like to beat this time out.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really cool configuration of a track, and it's really racy, and it's also very fast, so I'm looking forward to it this weekend.
You talk about Cocopah Speedway being racy, and again, you visit lots and lots of tracks. In your mind, what makes Cocopah Speedway unique from some of the other tracks that you'll visit throughout the year?
I think that the shape, the design of it, like getting into 3, it's pretty narrow, where it gets to feel a lot quicker than it is. So I think it's a really, really well-built track, and the track changes are always changing very quickly, so you always got to be on top of it, and I think it really shows who knows how to read a track at the end of the night.
In terms of dirt tracks, do you have a particular preference in terms of style or track length? We see some tracks referred to as more of a paper clip, where others are spread out in more of a wide oval. Any one in particular that you kind of look forward to running on?
I like running on both, but I think I do a little better on the paper clip. But I just strive to be good at anywhere we go, whether it be a 5th mile type bull ring or a big half mile and open. I think that's just really what drives me, just trying to get better every time I go out.
Being able to handle things no matter what kind of track you are competing on, to be sure. Your open wheel career takes in a lot of ground, including quarter midget cars, midgets, and of course the sprint cars, some BMX mixed in way back. Can you kind of tell us about your progression through the ranks, so to speak?
Yeah, I started to BMX bicycles when I was 5, and when I turned 7, my dad gave me the option of either getting a quarter midget or getting a dirt bike. And I picked the quarter midget and ran that for 7 years and had a lot of fun. And when I turned 14, we had to sell that, all of our racing stuff, because my mom got diagnosed with some cancer. So we had to sell that stuff to pay for it. And then she went through her deal fine, and she's at 100% remission now. And when I turned 17, I got a Ford Focus midget, ran that when I turned 16, I got a Ford Focus midget, ran that for 2 years. And then I ran for Western Speed in the midget in 2008 when I was 18. I also ran a 410 sprint car that year.
Lots and lots of stuff behind you, and a bushel of career highlights so far as well for you, Nick, including championship seasons in both the quarter midgets and the midgets, to go along with some very notable feature wins. Out of those accomplishments, any ones in particular stand out for you?
Probably my first weekend I moved back to Indiana in 2009. I won a local race out there that was pretty much like a USAC race, the second time out, which I thought was huge because a lot of people were just kind of telling me that those Cali guys don't know how to run on a slick track and all that stuff, and it was cool to go out there and get that first win.
Would you say there's quite of a difference in approach between drivers from out of the Midwest, versus the approach that we see taken by West Coast-based drivers such as yourself?
I don't know about so much the approach, but they get to do it 3 times as much as us, so it seems like they're always on their game a little bit more than us. But I don't really try to use that as an excuse at all, because when they come out for the ovals, we always put up a good fight. I mean, Mike Spencer won it last year. The year before that, I won the prelim night. And there's always a couple of us that run the top 5, which is really good considering a lot of those guys do it for a living.
That's something that might be in your future in terms of wanting to be able to compete more often?
Yeah, I'd love to get a full-time ride out there. It's just really hard right now with the economy. But I really enjoy where I'm at right now. I got a great team behind me, great sponsors, and I get to surf out here in California whenever I want.
Nick Faas, driver of the Scott Sales Company, CSI Shocks, Spike J&D number 4 sprint car, is our guest today on Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll continue with more with Nick in just a moment here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.
This is Jan.
This is Timmy. I'm interested in the Corolla.
Timmy, how old are you?
9 3/4.
Oh, why the Corolla?
Are you kidding? Over 80% of Corollas sold in the last 20 years are still on the road today. And APRs are so low, I figured I might as well make a down payment now.
Who taught you about low APRs?
Some things, you just know.
Kids grow up so fast.
Get Corolla, the car you can count on, right now at your Toyota dealer. Hurry in today and get amazing deals and low APRs on the advanced, affordable, and always reliable Corolla. To learn more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on Polk U.S. Vehicles and Operation Registration Statistics, MY 1993 through 2012 as of October 2012 includes matrix models.
Visit Alexander Toyota in Yuma, or for more information, please log on to Toyota.com. Toyota.
No matter what type of air conditioning or heating help you need, schedule some help from 1 Hour Air Conditioning. Ready for the season? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating can help. No AC at all? 1 Hour can help. Need help upgrading your old inefficient system? 1 Hour can help. Now's the time to schedule your annual air conditioning safety inspection for just $59. Call 1 Hour today at 783-4242. Some limitations and exclusions apply.
We're always on time, but you don't pay your time.
I started smoking when I was 14 years old. Sounds gross, but I would go around to places around my school where they had ashtrays, and I would pick the largest cigarettes out of there and just smoke them. Somewhere in my mind, I thought I was putting my health at risk, but I didn't really care. And my dad comes up to me at one point and says, dude, you got to make a change. And he told me about the Ashline.
You can quit. Ashline can help. Call today, 1-800-556-6222, or visit ashline.org. It's free.
And welcome back to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and joining us today again, it's Rick Faas, #1 in the USAC CRA Series points, coming into competition as the USAC CRA 410 non-wing sprint cars invade Cocopah Speedway this coming Friday and Saturday night. Factory stocks on the card Friday night along with street stocks, but the features will be the USAC CR8 non-wing sprint cars. And Nick, you've got Damian Gardner hot on your heels in the USAC CRA points chase. You're both members of the same team, the Alexander Racing team. How's that worked out for you so far?
It's been going really well, actually. I think it kind of shows you kind of know how to push each other, and we're both clean racers, and he's obviously a very good, well-respected racer. Raced in the Midwest for a number of years, won a lot of races, won the ovals two times, I believe. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and hopefully get better each time we go out on the track.
Is he serving in any sort of a mentor role, or is it kind of equal in terms of the two of you, kind of swapping back information and advice?
Not too much. It's more of a, I don't know, we're teammates, but not so much on the information side. I like my car set up differently than him, and kind of have a little bit different driving style, so it's kind of, we're teammates, but at the same time, we both like different things.
Both like different things, and obviously want to beat each other out on the track.
Yeah, definitely.
Brian Clausen started out the year on a hot streak in Phoenix. Now you and Damian have moved up to the front of the standings. Any other competitors out there that, you'll consider to be a particular challenge as the season continues?
Yeah, there's always good competition. The 50 car and Mike Spencer are fast everywhere they go. They've just got kind of a little bit bitten by bad luck this year, but I never count them out. And David Carty's been running really well, and a bunch of other guys like Matt Mitchell are going to step up here pretty soon, and it's never easy wherever we go.
We're starting to see a real resurgence of dirt track racing in some parts of the country, including, of course, out at Cocopah Speedway. And we note the heritage and the history of USAC CRA going back many, many years. Got to feel good to be running in a series with so much history.
Yeah, definitely. And I wish we could run at Cocopah Speedway more often. It's a great track, and I love going to different tracks because it really makes the driver versatile, not just running Paris 3 times a month. And I love racing Arizona. I got to race Manzanita a couple times. I wish that place was still open, and I wish we went to Tucson. I wish we traveled a little more, but it's hard with all the expenses on how the economy is right now.
Yeah, and again, something that hopefully would come around for you in the future as the economy gets better.
Yep.
Many consider the non-wing sprint cars to be the most exciting of all the open-wheel race cars. Can you kind of relate to the casual fan what it's like to drive one?
Hard to relate. I mean, they just have so much horsepower and they weigh practically nothing, and just the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever felt.
Can you kind of take us through, what it's like inside the cockpit? The sprint cars are very simple race machines in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they are. There's always a lot going on, though. You always got dirt thrown at you. You got pull tear off, adjusting shocks, and not to mention trying to keep that thing in a straight line. So it's always hectic, and it's always a lot of fun. You always have to be on your toes at all times.
Competing in the USAC CRA Series takes you to a variety of places and a lot of travel at times. What is the time commitment like, and what's the biggest challenge involved in that?
The time commitment's not too bad. I like it when we go to Arizona like this and we have a 2-day show. It really makes the money worth it for the team and myself traveling out there. I'm very fortunate. I do not usually go down to the shop and work on the car during the week. I go to school. And it gets a little tough to balance that stuff out, but as long as I get my homework done and study enough for my test, it's not too much of a time crunch.
How close are you and some of the other drivers competing in the series? We talked about Damian Gardner a little bit, but other folks within the series, that you're particularly friendly with?
Yeah, Matt Mitchell's one of my best friends, and we have a lot of fun together, and yeah, we both want to be each other just as bad on the racetrack, so it's fun to have someone out there, but at the same time, I'm a competitor, and it's fun to be able to race someone clean and afterward laugh about it and joke about it. But while we're in the race car, we all want to win.
Absolutely. Well, away from the sprint cars, what do you do for fun?
I try to surf a little bit. I used to play some golf. I haven't been doing that really. I've just been really busy with school. I graduate here in a month and a half, so I got a bunch of group project work to do, and that's the time-consuming part.
You mentioned school and something I wanted to ask about. I understand you're going for an engineering degree or nearly complete on that?
I actually switched to business finance.
Oh, well, that's going to play into a recovering economy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you weren't racing in the sprint cars, another form of racing that you'd look to be in?
Yeah, I like to run a midget as much as I can. I got to run for a team in 2008, and we, like you said, we were fortunate to win the championship with my rookie year, and I haven't really raced that much since then. I got to race for Josh Ford last year at Turkey Night, and that was my first midget race in, I think, 2 or 3 years, and we ended up running fourth at Turkey Night, which was really cool. Got to run Chili Bowl, and trying to find another ride out here so I can kind of fill in my weekends.
Just 23 years of age, you've accomplished a lot in a short period of time. Have you really been able to enjoy it as it's all gone by, or has it all gone by in kind of a rush?
It's gone by in a rush, definitely, but looking back on it, I've had some great memories with my family and my friends doing it, and I wouldn't trade anything in the world for it.
Well, with many years of racing, obviously, still out front of you, any particular goals that you would have, say, over the next 5 years, 10 years?
I want to win this USAC CRA championship really bad.
Number one on the list, to be sure. You mentioned family, and we talk a lot here at Cocopah Speedway about the family aspect of racing, and just want to kind of open it up here. Any special supporters, friends, family, associates that you'd like to make note of one more time in getting to this point in your career?
Yeah, I'd really like to thank my parents. They've done a lot for me over the years, not just financially, but support everything I've done. And I really want to thank Ken from Scott Sales. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Like I said again, Love You Catering, CSI, Butler Built. Thank my car owner, Mark Alexander, for giving me a ride, and Steve Alexander being an awesome crew chief that he is. His son AJ, Rick, and Wayne, all those guys put together. We wouldn't be able to have fun and be running as well as we are without those people.
Well, Nick, we want to thank you ever so much for taking time out of your day today to visit with us here on Laptime Live.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
And one more time, Nick Faas, driver of the Scott Sales Company CSI Shock. Spike J&D number 4 sprint car on top in the points as the AMSOIL USAC CRA sprint cars get set to invade Cocopah Speedway this coming Friday and Saturday nights. Tickets just $17 general admission, available now at Yuma area Napa Auto Parts stores and at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. Tickets $15 for seniors and military, $5 for juniors 7 to 12 and children under 6. Always free at the Diamond in the Desert. Well, also joining us this morning here on Laptime Live, it's Yuma's go-to man for all things racing, Randy Haft with the Yuma Sun. They're featuring a special speed magazine in tomorrow morning's edition, focusing in on the AMSOIL USAC CRA sprint cars. And Randy, the non-wing sprints have a big history with us here in Yuma. Any particular moments that stand out for you?
Well, back in the day when it was CRA, it was a real treat, and I would even say an honor to Leland McSpadden and Ronnie Schumann, just to name a couple. I remember that one show they had here, Leland came. It was a combination USAC midget show and the CRA sprint cars, and Leland went out and won both events, both mains, the midget and the sprint car main. That was pretty cool. Obviously, Steve Kinser was here right after the track opened with the World of Outlaws, the king of sprint car racing, I guess you could call him, and he won that main event. And the most recent one, which I really had a lot of fun watching, was Calvin Landis. He came with the Sprint Car Owners of Arizona in 1998 and 1999. And in that span of those 2 seasons, in 10 starts, he won 9 of those main events. He was 9 for 10. The Cat had a reputation for putting his car inches off the wall. People loved to watch him race, but they said that he brought his cojones to the racetrack in a gunny sack. So anyhow, that was very cool.
Part of the history and heritage of the CRA, SCRA, and again USAC CRA Sprint Car Series presented by AMSOIL and coming to Cocopah Speedway Friday, April the 19th and Saturday, April the 20th. Talking about history a little bit, some new history now in the process of being made, and that's something that you'll be focusing on in the new edition of Speed coming out in the Yuma Daily Sun tomorrow, Sunday.
Yes, our third edition, we did the IMCA Nationals, was our first edition. The ASCS Sprint Cars was our second edition, and now we're coming out tomorrow, as you said, tomorrow morning with the third edition, which focuses on the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprint Car Series. I got to say, I had a lot of fun doing this issue, mostly because I did 6 interviews with 6 really cool drivers with great personalities. Of course, I got to talk to the man, Rip Williams. If you don't understand that, read the story. You'll understand why he's the man. Probably the most outrageous story was Damian Gardner, who says he wants to take a sprint car up to the Bonneville Salt Flats, and he wants to set a land speed record. He's looking at doing 250 in a sprint car. That's 250 miles per hour. Let's see, there's also Matt Mitchell is in there. A story about Matt Mitchell. He wrecked his car at Terre Haute last year at the Indiana Sprint Week, and the result was he had 2 hemorrhaging retinas, and he was classified legally blind. And against all advice, he's still racing. So anyway, he's back. That was a very cool interview also. And Mike Spencer, our own Mr. Five-time series champion. He's off to a slow start, but he said it's way too early to start counting points. And another note on Mike was he was such a cool guy that when I contacted him by phone, he was sitting in an airport waiting for a flight, and he said he was getting ready to get on the plane. He said, but don't worry about it. He goes, they'll wait for me.
And we certainly look forward to that edition of Speed Magazine tomorrow morning in the Yuma Daily Sun. And Randy, we look forward to having you back on the show again here real quick. One other driver we'd like to make note of this morning, getting set to join us for competition next Friday and Saturday out at the Diamond in the Desert. Yuma's own Mike Martin, who picked up his first ever national event win just a few months ago, taking the Arizona Hall of Fame Classic finale on October 27th at Canyon Speedway Park. Now, Martin split time between Yuma and Phoenix for many years while doing battle in the sprint cars after getting his racing starts at what was then Yuma Speedway back in the early 90s. At a special meet and greet event for Mike Martin and his number 16, Maxim Shaver, Ultimate Off-Road Sprint Car is set for this coming Thursday afternoon and evening at Outback Steakhouse, a special event. You can stop by, say hi to Mike. If you'd like to get in on a meal as well, tickets are available at $15 per person. You can contact Pat Stubbs at 928-304-8352. Again, that's 304-8352 to pick up a ticket if you want to get in on the meal as well. Well, in addition to piloting a car himself, Martin also fields a team car, and late word into us is that three-time USAC Silver Crown champion Bud Kading from Campbell, California is going to be the driver behind the wheel of Martin's Ultimate Off-Road team car. In addition to those 3 Silver Crown titles, Kading also took the 2012 USAC West Coast Sprint Car Championship to go along with a prior Western Sprint title. Well, yes, indeed, a lot to get excited about, to be excited about as we get set for racing at its most elemental, the AMSOIL USAC CRA 410 non-wing sprint cars, again in town this coming Friday and Saturday night. Advance tickets available now at select Napa Auto Parts stores and also at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. And as you make plans for the coming race weekend, we remind you that, as always, shuttle buses will be running between Cocopah Casino and Cocopah Speedway. You can find more on the upcoming USAC CRA sprints by visiting Cocopah Speedway on the internet. All available at the click of a mouse. Just stop in at www.cocopahspeedway.com and be sure to like us on Facebook. And remember, when you're at the racetrack, you can bring that action even closer with both the MyLaps application and CocopahLive.com for scoring, results, and more. You'll also find handy links to Cocopah Casino, the Cocopah Resort Hotel and Conference Center, and more, again, through CocopahSpeedway.com. And additional info on the AMSOIL USAC CRA Sprints is also available at USACRacing.com/CRA and also on Facebook at USAC CRA Sprint Car Series. You've been listening to Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more special Race Day edition coming next Saturday morning, 11 a.m. here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.